Hello students, welcome to the next lecture of electromagnetic field theory. So students, in the previous lecture we had seen one of the important concept used to solve the problems related with vector algebra, and that is what? The concept of the gradient. So we had seen that gradient is generally used to what? Calculate the fastest increase in the value of the function in the particular direction. That is, we are calculating the maximum increase in the value of the function by taking the directional derivative in the particular direction. And therefore we had also seen that result of the gradient will be always the vector quantity. That is what we had seen, the gradient operated on the scalar result in what? The gradient, result in the vector quantity. But at the same time we had also seen that the gradient is being shown by the operator known as your Labla, which is denoted by what? The inverted del Greek operator. Now we had also seen the gradient in the rectangular coordinate system, the gradient in the cylindrical coordinate system, and gradient in the spherical coordinate system. Now today we are going to see the next two important concepts of the vector algebra, that is the curl and the divergence. Try to recall the previous lecture and the example we had seen. Now we had seen the example of the tire puncture. When the tire get punctured, we know that the air come out from the punctured hole. And we know that if we move our hand in the direction of the puncture, we feel the strength of the air coming out from that hole. So therefore we had the maximum feel of the force of the air near the hole of the near the puncture point, and we feel the less strength of the air as we move away from the puncture point. Now from that we define the concept known as whatever divergence, that is air is coming outside, and that is what we are diverging, the air is diverging outside. So that is known as what? The divergent point. That is, from the divergence we come to know the starting point of the vector. At the same time, to understand the concept of the curl, we had taken an example of the whirlpool which occurs or happens generally in the floating water, that is what your rivers or the sea. So we know that the whirlpool has a maximum, we can say, the circumference at the starting point, and the circumference of the circle goes on decreasing as we move towards the bottom side, as we move towards the inside side. And therefore we can say that with the help of that whirlpool concept we come to know the point which comes to be stationary, and that is nothing but whatever the ending point of the vector. So therefore we can say that curl help us to find out what the ending point of the vector. Now the starting point and the ending point of the vector we are going to see under the concept known as whatever conservative field and irrotational field. So therefore we can say that when the curl of the field is 0, the field is whatever irrotational, that is what the field becomes the stable. And at the same time when the divergence of the vector field it is equals to 0, we can say that that field is going to be solenoidal coil or the conservative field. Now let us see the concept of the divergence and vector in detail. So at the same time, one point I also want to show you that again for the today's lecture I am not using any PPT. See, I want to explain the concept of the curl and the divergence through the various points, through the various animations, and that's why directly I switch my lecture on what the internet website. So I try to focus on the main point that I had read on the internet. Hope so you will get the things. If not, feel free to discuss the same with me in the lecture discussion. First, we see the idea of the curl of the vector. Now, generally the divergence and the curl vectors can be understood geometrically by what? The vector field as your the flow or the flow of a fluid or the gas. Just right now I discuss the same with the help of what your example. Now we had the discussion for the divergence, but first we see the concept of the curl, then we go with the divergence. Now consider this is what the turbulence you see in the water, and I can rotate it like this. See, I can change the axis. Now this is what our xyz axis, like this, right one. See, this is what my x, this is what my y, and this is what your z. So this turbulence, this whirlpool, this circular motion, and that circular motion is nothing but what you are the concept of the curl. Now we can say that here it is being mentioned the curl of a vector is nothing but what? How the fluid may rotate towards its axis. The curl of a vector is nothing but what? How the fluid may rotate. Now imagine that one, the vector field represents what? The fluid flow, and the vector field indicates that a fluid is circulating around what you are the circular axis. Likewise, we can see over here. See, I am changing the axis right now. So this is what my y. See, you can see the circular parts. So I am changing the axis, and therefore you come to know the clear part. So this is what my z, and the z shows me the what? The complex part. So that's why I am weaving it with the help of whatever say x-axis, so that you come to understand the same, and I am weaving with the help of what your y-axis. So this is what you are the same. So this is what your y, and this is what your x-axis, which is weaving in front of you, and this is what you are the z-axis. Okay, moving towards the next point, a rotating vector field. Okay, now see this one. I hope you understand the concept of the same thing. So in the vector calculus or in the vector algebra, we can say that curl is a what? A vector operator. Curl is a what? Your vector operator. Okay, which describes what? The very small, infinitesimal means what? Generally very small, very small circulation of a vector field in what? The three-dimensional space. And at the same time, curl at a point is represented by whatever? A vector. Is represented by whatever? A vector. And the length and the direction denotes what? The magnitude and the axis of the circulation. So this is very important point. This is very important point from the curl point of view. That is what it is represented by a vector. It means that again the curl has the result equals to what? Your vector, and its length and the direction denotes what? The magnitude and the axis of what? Your maximum circulation. The length and the direction denotes what? The magnitude and the axis of what? Your maximum circulation. At the same time, we can say that curl is defined as what? The circulation density at each point of the field. So consider this one. Now we can say that here at somewhere we have the axis of this one, but at the same point we can say that we have the circulation. We have what? The circulation density at each point of the field. it means that again this field is going to be has to be circular density, this field has to be circular density, this field has the what your circular density. Now at the same time here we can say that when the vector field has the curl equals to 0, then it is known as what your irrotational. We know that, consider the example of your say whirlpool. ठीक है, अगर हम बवंडर का एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, वी नो दैट एट द लास्ट पॉइंट वी हैव द सर्कुलर. इट मीन्स दैट दैट पॉइंट इज स्टेशनरी एंड देयरफॉर वेयर द कर्ल वैल्यू विल बिकम 0. सो देयरफॉर व्हेन द वेक्टर फील्ड हुज कर्ल इज 0, दैट इज नोन एज व्हाट योर irrotational field. It is known as what your irrotational field. At the same time, the curl has an importance in the theorem known as what your Stokes theorem. It is known as what your Stokes theorem. So in the upcoming lecture we are going to see the Stokes theorem in detail, but at the same time curl is going to be used. Curl is going to be used what? To relate the line integral to what your circular Stokes surface relate the line integral to what your surface integrals. So it is nothing but what your Stokes theorem. Here it is being mentioned, which relates the surface integral of the curl of a vector field to what your line integral of the vector field around the boundary curve. So generally we can say that curl is being represented as what your cross product with nabla operator. Cross operator or cross product with what your nabla operator denoted by what your this one, that is what your del bar cross f bar, and may be read as what your curl of your f bar or what your rotational of your f bar. Maybe read as what your curl of f bar or rotational of your f bar, or maybe pronounced as del bar cross f bar. Del bar cross f bar. Okay, generally we have the examples of the same one. This one, the curl at any point P is denoted by whatever del bar cross f bar denoted at a point P dot what your unit vector equals to what your limit a tends to 0 1 upon mod of a contour integral or c f bar dot dr bar. Now this is not an important part, but see this definition we are going to use to prove the Stokes theorem. We will see the details part in this one, and yes, the main part which is in your syllabus, yes, this one, that is what the Cartesian coordinate expression for the curl of the f bar. So del bar cross f bar is denoted by what you are this one. So f bar is denoted by what you are fx, fy and fz. So therefore we know that when there is a cross product, we have the determinant of the three rows. First row will be what your unit vector. Now del bar, we know that this nabla operator is going to be denoted by what your del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. This f bar is being represented as what your fx, fy and fz. Now we can simplify this one, but that is what for the I cap it will be what del by del y of your fz, del by del z of your fy. So next will be this one and next will be this one. So I hope you have the understanding of how to solve the determinant. Now same case if we are going to use in whatever cylindrical and spherical coordinates, so how it will look like? It will look like this one. So we have the values, that is what first we had seen the del operator for the same thing. Now same thing can be denoted by with this one, that is what your rho d phi dz d rho. So therefore how it going to be right as, so this one, so instead of this del by del x, del by del y and del by del z, we have with us del by del rho, then 1 upon rho del by del phi, and last will be whatever del by del z. So therefore it will happens or it will come out to be this one. Similarly we have the same case for whatever spherical coordinate system also. For that I prefer that please do it at your place. So that is nothing but what the details about whatever curl. So next point will be whatever the divergence. Now we had already taken an example of whatever the puncture of the tire, and that is the best example of whatever divergence. Now we can say that when the divergence is being operated on a vector, result will be always whatever scalar field. Result will be whatever always a scalar field. Now here it is being mentioned that when the del bar dot v bar is greater than 0, we can say that this is nothing but whatever divergence, and when we can say that del bar dot v bar is less than 0, it will be whatever convergence. Okay, and at the same time when the del bar dot v bar it is equals to the 0, okay, that is known as whatever conservative field. That is known as whatever conservative field. Okay, now next point is what? The Cartesian coordinate representation for the divergence. Now suppose we have the vector f bar, it is equals to what? Fx I cap plus fy j cap plus fz k cap. Now divergence of f can be written as whatever del bar dot f bar, it is equals to what? Del by del x, del by del y, del by del z dot fx fy fz. It comes out to be what? Del by del x of fx plus del by del y of your fy plus del by del z of whatever fz. So this is the representation of divergence of f in Cartesian coordinate system. Again, yes, here when the vector field with a zero divergence everywhere, it is known as whatever solenoidal field. It is known as whatever solenoidal field. Now same case can be used for the cylindrical coordinate system. Now we know that in cylindrical coordinate system we have r, theta and z. Here it is being represented at that one. So therefore divergence of f, it is equals to whatever 1 by r del by del r of r into fr plus 1 upon r into del by del theta of your f theta plus del by del z of your what? Fz. Now here the question may arise, why there is a need of what here 1 by r del by del r of r into fr. See, for this we have to derive the formula for what here divergence of the f bar in cylindrical coordinate system, but that is not in your syllabus scope. So that's why please don't go in detail of this one. So please try to remember the formula for the divergence of the f in the cylindrical coordinate system. Again same case use for the same thing, that is what? Del bar dot f bar in spherical coordinate system can be represented as what here 1 by r square del by del r into r square into fr plus 1 upon r sin theta del by del theta of your sin theta into f theta plus 1 upon r sin theta into whatever del by del phi of your what? F phi. Now this is what the representation of your del bar dot f bar in spherical coordinate system. So to understand the examples related with divergence and the curl, we are taking some examples so that you can understand the concept of your divergence and the curl. Now we know that in Cartesian coordinate system we have divergence of f as del by del x of f1, del by del y of your f2, del by del z of your f3, and same case for whatever the curl of your f. Now consider we have to calculate the divergence and the curl for the vector f equals to whatever minus y into xy minus y into I cap plus xy into j cap plus z into k cap. Now we can calculate the same for the first del by del x of f1, which is equals to 0, because here the value of f1 equals to whatever minus and del by del x of your y will be equals to 0. Now similarly we can calculate the value for this del by del y of this one, which is it comes out to be x, and for the third one the value come out to be the 1. So therefore finally the divergence of the f will be equals to whatever 0 plus x plus 1 equals to whatever x plus 1. Now again, to calculate the curl of your f bar, first we can calculate the value of del by del y of your f1, which is comes out to be minus 1. Yes, because del by del y of this one which will equals to what? Minus 1. Del by del x of your f2, it comes out to be y. Del by del z of your f1 equals to what? Your del by del z of your f2 equals to del by del x of your f3 equals to del by del x of your f3 comes out to be 0. See why I am calculating this one? Because of this one. Because I want these terminologies or this term, that is what del by del y of your f3 minus del by del z of your f2, del by del z of your f1 minus del by del x of your f3, del by del x of your f2 minus del by del y of your f1. So I am calculating this one, and at last I am adding the all things, and finally what I get the value as what your y plus 1. I get the values at what your y plus 1. See the another example we have with us. Determine whether the given field is a conservative vector field. So we are going to see the solution. So yes, conservative field means what your irrotational field, and therefore we can say that if the value of curl of f bar it is equals to 0, then we can say it is equals to conservative field. So del bar cross f bar, first try to understand the given vector for the particular coordinate system. So given vector is in what your Cartesian coordinate system. So therefore curl of f bar it is equals to what your I bar, j bar, k bar. Second will be what your first vector, that is what your curl, that is del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. F bar we are putting the over the third row. Now simplify the things. Now after simplify the things, we come to know that the final value will not be equals to 0. The final value will not be equals to 0. See, you can say that, sir, here it will be minus 2x square y and here it will be 2 plus 2x square y, xy square, sorry. So the things are different one. Things are the different one. It here 2x square y and here are 2xy square. Again, the unit vector here it will be what? I cap, and here will be unit vector what you are j cap. So that's why these two fields cannot cancel each other. So therefore here statement is giving, since the curl is not 0, so therefore we can say that vector field is not a conservative, is not what you are conservative. Sometimes here auto also known as, if the curl of f bar it is equals to 0, it is also known as what you are irrotational, that is the field cannot rotate the particular thing. Now same case for the divergence also. Now for the same thing we are calculating the thing, that is divergence of f bar. So del by del x of x square y plus del by del y of your xyz plus del by del z of your minus x square y square, which comes out to be what? 2xy then xz, and for this, since here there is no term of the z, so therefore this will be what you are treated as a constant, and the final value will be what you are equals to 0. Now verify the above fact, that is what? If the divergence of a curl it is equals to 0. So first we compute the curl. So curl हमने पहले compute किया है, and the final value will be this one. Now for this field we are calculating what? The divergence. So therefore del by del x of this one, del by del y of 2yz plus del by del z of your y minus z square. It comes out to be what? 2z minus z, which is equals to 0, and therefore we can say that curl of a divergence of a curl it is always equals to 0. It is always equals to 0. Now when the divergence of f it is equals to 0, then we can say that f bar will be whatever incompressible. So next topic is what your Laplace operator. So Laplace operator is what your divergence of the gradient of the scalar field. Divergence of the gradient of the field is known as what your Laplace, or simply del square bar nabla square is known as what your Laplace operator, and can be written as what your del bar dot del bar. So it comes out to be what? fxx plus fyy plus fzz. So students, briefly we revise what we had seen today. So today we start our discussion from the curl operator on the vector. So what are the brief points that we had seen on the curl? So curl is denoted by a letter nabla, that is inverted Greek letter delta, and generally it is done as a cross product with the vector. So result will be always a vector quantity. If the curl of a vector is equals to the 0, then we can say the given vector field is a irrotational field. Next, we had also seen the concept known as the divergence. So divergence of a vector is nothing but the dot product of the nabla operator with that vector field. Result of the divergence will be always 0, with always 0, and at the same time if the divergence of a vector field is 0, then it is known as whatever incompressible vector, and at the same time the another name to this incompressible is what? The solenoidal field. So therefore we can say that when the divergence of the field is 0, then it is known as whatever? Solenoidal field. And last point that we had covered today is what? The Laplace operator. See, the Laplace operator is not in much detail in your syllabus, just introduction of the Laplace operator. So generally Laplace operator is denoted by this del square, which is equals to whatever nabla dot nabla, which is equals to whatever fxx plus fyy plus fzz. So this is the little field about what? The Laplace operator. So today with this we are going to the stop today. Remaining part we will cover in the next lecture. I hope you had understand the concept of the curl and the divergence very well. If no, please let us discuss the same thing in our lecture discussion. So thank you for your patience. Thank you. Today we will stop here. Thank you.